lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. The Drive-in Theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Hey, howdy guys. What's up? What's new? Welcome to the Drive-in Speakerbox. You're tuned in. It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. We hope you're having a great old time. It's August.
What are we
I don't know.
now?
I don't know. It's August 23rd, 2021. You're tuned into the
Sweaty balls now with these voices.
Are we on public radio?
Yeah.
Sweaty.
Sweaty
I am
balls.
kind of sweaty balls over here.
Yeah,
It's
you do have
warm
his
up in
out.
here.
Well, you have that same outfit that he wore.
Oh
too.
yeah, the sweaty balls. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is the Drive-in Speakerbox. I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
And I'm Slick Doggy.
And and we are back with another week. We're going to be talking to you about movies and things like that, what's going on in the world of film and TV. And we're going to be reviewing some films tonight. This weekend, we both got a chance to see Reminiscence. I saw it in the theater. You saw it on your couch on HBO Max. We're going to be talking about that later in the show. You're also going to be, you went and saw a Fathom event that I wasn't able to go to.
Yeah,
So
I went and I watched Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home in the movie theater.
in the movies.
Yeah, at the movies.
Were you the only people in the theater?
No, it was a packed theater. It was
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Star
That's
Trek,
awesome. Well,
bro.
I know, but some of these Fathom events they don't get the word out.
Well,
really
they had a little featurette before it, and check Fathom events coming up. There is a bunch of good stuff. Ghibli things are about to start up for the month of
Are
October.
they doing another Ghibli Fest?
I don't know if it's Ghibli Fest or not, but I was looking at the showings they have coming up for October. They have Spirited Away and what's Howl's Moving Castle.
I want a November Ghibli-thon called like Ghibli's and Gravy, and where it's just like
There
all
are
around the
there are
Thanksgiving weekend.
some Ghibli movies coming up in November too, but it starts beginning of October, opening up with Spirited Away. So I will probably try to get that. We have some Labyrinth coming up soon. And I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
And one or two other really big ones. So check Fathom events. Go watch some classic movies. Think about going and watching some new movies.
Well, over here in the Twitch comments, we've got Vince saying that last week, the day after our show, was his birthday.
Hey.
So, happy birthday,
Vince.
Vince. Yeah. Let's, cheers to Vince. Another circle around the sun or moon or lunar or whatever. I don't know, zodiac stuff. But yeah, to Vince. Happy birthday. So let's dive into a little bit of news. You want to start with some...
Before we move too far away, Sam pointed out there is a Golden Girls Fathom event thing coming up too soon. So that will be probably a lot of fun. Sam, you'll have to let us know how that goes because I'll be catching all the big-time movie things.
All the Golden Girls.
Yeah. And I think it's a one-day
Thank you
only.
for being a friend. Do.
Yeah.
I thank you. What was the there's like a shirt that says like someone or it's like I can't remember.
There's a lot of Golden
It's
Girls
like a
shirts and
freaking the sheets, but it's like a Gladys or whatever in the I can't remember. I don't know. Why
Vince-
did I even bring it up?
Vince said he pointed it out last week to make fun of me. He did do that. Yeah, I remember. Thanks for making fun of Slick Doggy on air, Vince.
Slick Doggy.
Happy birthday.
Sam says Bo is a total Blanche. Thanks,
Are we
Sam.
assigning Golden Girls characters to us? I want to be the mom.
Well, I'm sure they were all moms.
No.
At some
like,
point, right?
Like B. Arthur's
Arthur's
mom.
character?
No,
Oh.
like the little oldest.
Oh,
of the
the
old
cranky
ladies.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so embarrassed that I can't think of it. Anyway,
It's been a long time.
moving on. We've got stuff to talk about. We got some sad news. Start the show. I mean, a lot of people probably already talked about it on their social medias over the weekend. But Sonny Chiba, Sonny Chiba passed away with COVID complications.
I know
dude.
that one was harsh for me to see. I like Sonny Chiba movies.
Who
man.
didn't like
Street
Sonny
Fighter
Chiba?
And
movies.
Oh yeah.
Sonny Chiba was cool, man.
Sonny Chiba was super cool.
Like, what a martial artist.
Unfortunately, half the people I told were like, "Who?"
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, if you've ever seen any of Jake's foreign films,
Then
you
you'll
would
know.
understand."
You'll know. Sonny Chiba was up in there. But yeah, a pretty prolific career as a martial artist, breaking into cinema and having an incredibly long career. Most people know him from, he was
The
in
Street Fighter.
Well, he was in Kill Bill, I believe, wasn't he? Or one of, I think it was Kill Bill. He was in one of the Tarantino movies, and everybody's like, "Who's this guy?" And it's like, well, the whole reason he's in here is because he's already a legend. And yeah, so pouring one out for old Sonny Cheebs.
After that, too, it was announced Saturday that Tom T. Hall passed away. And so he was like a big country music star. A lot of country musicians followed him and covered his songs and did things like that. So a lot of people owe their star to Tom T. Hall, and you've probably heard his music and just don't know it. So
kind of like Sonny Chiba. You probably seen him on screen, but didn't know it. These legends that don't always take the spotlight. Those are really important people. I was having this conversation with someone the other day because this past weekend I was helping a friend with his short film, something I talked about a little bit last week. And with some of the cast, we were just talking about how one of the makeup artists on set, he also teaches theater, and he was talking about how in theater right now it's really hard to get kids interested in the technical positions. Everybody wants to be on the stage and have the lights shining on them, but nobody wants to be the guy shining the lights. And so it's getting really, really hard to find people that want to work the behind the scenes stuff, and they're finding a humongous shortage in it because everybody wants the spotlight. Similar thing that the conversation got started about sound is in Arkansas, there are like no good sound technicians for film. And, because everybody goes, "Oh, lights, camera, action, that's what I want to be in." And it's like, actually, if you're on set, it kind of goes sound speed, camera speed, action. So, sound is pretty important, but it's like the invisible art of filmmaking, and there's almost nobody that's like, right. Everybody wants to go, "Oh, I want to be in camera department. Oh, I'm going to work in as a gaffer so I can get into camera department, so I can camera department and direct and be a camera guy, camera. And then they get to shooting their first short film, and they're like, it sounds like garbage. And they're like, well, it looks so good, but it sounds like crap. What's wrong? Everybody thinks my movie looks cheap. And it's like, because it sounds like crap. Yeah, because you didn't get yourself a good sound person. So, yeah. Vince says, and the AD calls action, right? Yeah, it depends. It depends on the production. A lot of places the director is pretty involved and they call action. But yes, most of the time the AD, what the AD will do is make sure that everybody's, they're the whip cracker. The assistant director is like making sure that everybody's on board. They will be the liaison between, say, like the lighting department and the gaffer and the best boy electric. We're making sure that they've got their stuff, and they're like, all right, well, we're 5 minutes out, and the AD will let camera and sound and talent know that there are so many amount of time out, and then generally the AD will also be like, all right, pictures up, to get everybody quiet on set. And if they have to say quiet on set, usually they don't have to because that's kind of antiquated, but pictures up is kind of the new quiet on set. And then they will be like,
everyone shut the hell up.
Yeah, everyone shut up. And then they say, roll sound, and then they'll wait for the sound guy to be like, sound speed, and then they'll be like, roll camera, and they'll be like, camera speed, and then either they'll pass it off to the director or they'll do action. That's kind of how it goes on set. Little fun behind the scenes facts there.
Hey, before we get too far away from it, Zaxoff pointed out that Chiba played Hanzo in the Kill Bill movies. So there you go.
Hattori Hanzo. Anyway, what else in the news? We should talk about Jeopardy.
We should.
We should talk about Jeopardy a little bit.
Jeopardy's big entertainment, and it's been making big news since Trebek passed, not only because his
Jeopardy's in jeopardy.
His last thing on film was
which actually just,
as far as release,
just came out, wasn't it? It was
the Free Guy. He made a cameo in Free Guy.
Yeah, that's right. He was in Free Guy, and I was like, oh, there's old it's weird. You know, they've been trying to pilot a bunch of hosts. You know, there was like, okay, Ken Jennings tried to try it out. Mayim Bialik doing a little tryout, and then LeVar Burton doing a little tryout, and then the executive producer.
What it is that they had a bunch of different guest hosts to occupy time, and they used them for focus groups and things like that. And it included Jeopardy champions like Ken Jennings and one or two others. It had celebrities like Mayim Bialik, LeVar Burton. It had Anderson Cooper. There were several different news hosts, podcast hosts, celebrities that have been involved in some sort of intellectual themed type things. But ultimately it fell to Mike Richards, who is an executive producer for the last 2 years on Jeopardy, and Sony Pictures or Sony TV decided that he was the correct choice because his star would not outshine that of Jeopardy, which is a ridiculous statement from Sony Television Studios, because they're like, oh, well, we don't want the personality to be bigger than Jeopardy. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's Jeopardy. It's huge, and whoever you put there is just going to get eyes on Jeopardy. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Trebek was his own star because of Jeopardy, and you can put a celebrity in that place, like LeVar Burton, who should probably have it. And they had already planned on having Mayim Bialik as a sub in for Mike Richards prior to his exit, following only 9 days from his hire date. His first day of show filming was his last day on the job.
Yes.
He had it for 9 days, and the first day they filmed with him is the day that he stepped down, because all the things that he said on podcast started coming up, and every Jeopardy fan hit the internet, and they were like, are you kidding? You put the executive producer in place of all of these people we wanted, which all of the people they wanted were either Ken Jennings or LeVar Burton, because those are really the best two choices you have.
For
and
sure.
They're like, instead of this, you put an executive producer who has control of how the shows are edited to make the host look any way they want, make them say anything they want through editing. He has control over the focus groups, all of these things. And Sony maintains it was because he was neutral. He was a neutral spirit to put in place.
Such a neutral executive producer.
Yeah. And that's the thing. While he stepped down of his own accord from the show, he
stepped down because everybody's calling him a sexist now.
Well, he said a lot, and he said some things against racially disparaging things.
Pregnant,
sexist.
pregos.
That's from his time as an executive producer on Price is Right.
Well, here's what I want to talk about,
because there was some.
There was a model that they let go from the show because she was pregnant with twins, and this is where it gets. This kind of whole world gets really tricky. You go look back in the days of Abercrombie and Hollister, their whole campaign of they don't hire people, they cast people because you can discriminate based on looks. So
just like restaurants, that's what restaurants do, is they're cast.
Now casting.
You don't get hired to be a server. You play the role of a server.
And,
that way they can legally tell you what you should look like.
And so it gets really, really tricky, especially nowadays when anything that you kind of say or do can be, used really against you in all sorts of manners. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is he's having to really answer for being on a podcast a couple of years ago and talking about like a trip to Vegas and somebody they knew, and I can't remember exactly, but I was listening to it on NPR and it was silly enough to where it made me laugh, because I've been on stage for a long time, I've been doing radio and podcasts for a long time, and I say a lot of dumb stuff, and I make a lot of bad jokes, and I make a lot of great jokes that are also in poor taste, because things are funny. And, I hope that if people watch the show enough and kind of get to know what's going on in the show, you'll know that where the humor draws the line and where, seriousness and reality comes to play. But he is so under fire because he was talking about a person getting a job in Las Vegas as a server that goes and does tables, and he referred to it as a booth hoe.
Well, and he also asked another guest on a podcast
Like a booth hoe?
if she had taken booby pictures.
Booby pictures. And like, I mean, to me, that's just like, okay, what a ding-a-ling, but not like, this guy is a brutal sexist because he said booby pictures and booth hoe.
Well-
and I'm just like, come on, dude. It's because he got it on microphone, because I know, I mean, I work in a bar and I hear conversations from all walks of life. And if everybody had their conversations taped with their friends, everybody would lose their jobs. Like, that's just the reality of it, because we're all pieces of shit. Like, that's like that's the humanity. I mean, it's in the Bible. We're pieces of shit. Like, we're born into pieces of shitdom. I'm pretty sure that's like in Leviticus. But, you know, it's just weird to see, like, even now, like, you've got these big, powerful executives that said booby pics on a podcast, and they're like, shut it down.
Well, but that was following the things like prejudice against some other peoples. Like he said some remarks about Jewish people and some other things they had listed. But also...
Well, it's like the James Gunn thing.
His time on... Well, that's a whole different thing. But it's just like his time on Price is Right, where it wasn't just one pregnant person, but it was that
The price is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But one of our viewers brought up a good idea. They really need to have Will Ferrell guest host a time or two.
I mean, and then just be Celebrity Jeopardy, like
Yeah.
come full circle.
Yeah, they just need to. Oh, he can host a Celebrity Jeopardy, so it's low stakes.
Oh, man.
That would be perfect. And they can have Norm Macdonald be Burt Reynolds / Turd Ferguson. It'd be fantastic. That's a really good idea. But yeah,
Should I go get my Turd Ferguson hat?
It's funny because it's
Yeah,
bigger
keep talking about Jeopardy.
It's bigger
Hang on.
than a normal hat. So the Jeopardy thing is probably it may end up being some big landmark change in how entertainment works and the scrutiny of fans for how shows are cast, and oh my gosh, we'll see how all the guest hosting goes, but we might get us. Look at that. It's funny because it's bigger than a normal hat.
It's a big hat. I mean, it's almost like an Arby's hat, but cooler. Well, no, I don't know. Like, Arby's hats are pretty cool. But yeah, this is my Turd Ferguson hat. For those of you guys that are watching the live stream on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, you can check this out, or you can make a clip of it on Twitch. But wait, what's my favorite soup? And it's miso. And what did you wager? Horny. Miso horny. Anyway, I don't know. Turd Ferguson hat.
Turd Ferguson.
There you go. All right, putting that down.
Oh, that's not my name. Mr. Ferguson.
Mr.
Yeah.
Ferguson.
I really hope we end up with somebody that people can actually get behind, and I honestly do hope it ends up being LeVar Burton, because I think that would be so
That would
rad.
be the best.
Yeah.
That would be
he's
the best.
wholesome. There's nothing not wholesome about LeVar Burton. So
Timbo Sippy over there on YouTube. What's up, Tim? He said that he loved that Jake had to explain why the hat was funny. Because some people can't see us.
No,
you know?
but that's also from that episode, because Turd Ferguson's sitting there smacking his gum, and he goes, "It's funny.
It's funny.
It's bigger than a normal hat."
Because it's bigger than a normal hat. Oh, man. Well, anyway, the Jeopardy thing is totally bananas. And
that's totally a 5-0 Goes West hat, like Zane
it
pointed
is.
out.
I just, somewhere out there. Anyway, Don Bluth.
Can I be Dom DeLuise in that movie?
The cat?
The big fat
cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dom DeLuise is the best in every movie he's in.
He is. He is the best. Let's see what else going on in the news that we wanted to. Beverly Hills Cop 4. Netflix is spearheading this and saying it's actually going to happen. It's going to be filming soon. Eddie Murphy is coming back.
When are we getting triplets?
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I want triplets before I get another Beverly Hills Cop.
No, I'll take a Beverly Hills Cop, especially if Netflix is doing it, because Netflix is allowing Eddie Murphy to go into the R ratings, just like they did with the film My Name is Dolomite, which was really good. What are you making that face for? It was good.
We don't need another Beverly Hills Cop.
I'll take another Beverly Hills.
Did you see 3?
I did.
Okay.
Wonder World, Wonder World. That one was a pretty good one. Where I don't know how he managed to be friends with like that super rich old dude that owned that theme park, but
he was Eddie Murphy.
But just like
in the 80s.
As long as Jan Hammer's gonna come, or Harold Faltermeyer, not Jan Hammer, he did Miami Vice. Harold Faltermeyer comes back and does the score. Hey, thanks for the follow, Tim. Then I'm on board. You gotta have the Harold I think Harold Faltermeyer is still alive. I think the last thing that he did, like Kevin Smith dragged him out of retirement for that movie that nobody watched, and then
which one? Kevin Smith had a couple.
No,
of
the
them.
Action one with Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, and Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. It was like I can't remember the name of it, but it was somewhat forgettable. But they brought Cop Out. That's right. Thank you, Vince. And then they brought Harold That was the best part of that movie, and also the dude from American Pie parkouring up that house and then dying. That was actually really hilarious. But anyway, Harold Faltermeyer, got to bring him back for Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Well, if we're talking Netflix and things that they're bringing out that I'd much rather not ever happen, did you see the things?
Which things?
The Cowboy Bebop things.
Oh.
As our resident weeaboo, I expect you to have seen them. I'm
boom, 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 boom. Yeah, dude.
I'm bummed. It looks real stupid.
Yeah.
Who decided that John Cho should be Spike Spiegel?
I mean, if you're... Again, this is one of those things that... I get it, like... I mean, the problem with anime adaptations and even cartoon adaptations is these characters are animated because they are larger than life. And there is something about a Western space opera that's set in like a neo-future American West / Japan space weirdness with bounty hunters doesn't exactly ever equal something I want to see real people pretend to be.
Right.
And, everybody's like, oh, well, there's no Radical Edward. And I'm like, I don't want to see Radical Edward on screen.
I was like, there's no Ed. They have Ein and they have Faye, which I'm not happy with, and they have Jet Black, which I'm very upset about, and they have
even though
Spike,
I like those actors. I like all three of those actors.
Who's that Mustafa guy playing Jet Black? I looked through his IMDb.
He was
the bad guy in Luke Cage.
He was awesome.
That's the only credit he has that anyone would even know.
But he's pretty new. He's an up and comer.
Oh, how about that? So is the girl who played the dinosaur vet from Lost World 2.
But she's not bad.
She's not Faye Valentine.
Nobody is. That's because they're a fantasy character that only exists in one of the most classic animated series of all time.
And how are you going to see friggin' John Cho, Harold and Kumar doing Jeet Kune Do to Vincent or Vicious?
And they totally spoil in the production photos the final scene, the crescendo scene of Cowboy Bebop, which is the church shootout, which is like the buildup of the whole freaking show.
The gun and the sword.
Oh God! Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, production photo. Here's the freaking climax of the whole
John
series."
Cho has kind of messy hair. He must be Spike Spiegel.
Man, I just.
Listen, Jet Black is the coolest, and I don't know who this dude is. And
no, I think he'll kill it as Jet Black. Except for, I don't think anybody can. I think this.
They gave him a daughter. Why does he have a daughter?
Because plot.
Because
make him a
Netflix.
Single dad. And how are they going to do the Western bounty hunter show at the end where it's like doodle doodle rootin' tootin' roundup, we got doodle da ba bow ping ping. It's so stupid and so great.
How are they going to have the anime cowboy bounty hunters on TV?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and they're like, all right, now cowpokes, we gonna get them up, cowboys, because on planet Supersop we got 100 beetlos on so and so's head, and it's like no, I don't need those beetlos. And I don't want to see John Cho complaining about eating like onion soup. It's just not going to be the same as Spike Spiegel sitting there floating. And how are they going to get him floating in space and it not look stupid all the time? And like eating, like there's something about eating and anime eating that's way more satisfying than real life eating.
Like there's continuously posts on Facebook that's always, look at the food in Ghibli movies. Why can't I have food from Ghibli movies? Yeah.
Every time I watch a Ghibli movie, I have to go like get pho or soba or udon.
But it's not picture perfect like Ghibli movie food that looks so good. Yeah, like Ghibli movies, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Toriko. You're like, oh, I want that food.
I want that. I
Give
want
me that
like
food.
a whole egg to be able to stay in my chopsticks, and I can go and like eat it up. Like that's what I want. You can't have it. But
Can't have it.
you
And
just-
the meat where it has the bone running through it, it's just one solid round of meat that
Yes.
looks so perfect
You're
and
like,
good.
You go, "Ow," and you tear it off, and it's just like, But Cowboy Bebop is not gonna be good.
Or food from Goofy movie. Yeah.
Oh, Velvet Santa says pizza from a Goofy movie, where it's just like the epic cheese, like one of those Korean corn dogs that just like keeps stretching for
Or
an
the
eternity.
pancake stacks, or the High Dad soup that looks better than any SpaghettiOs you've ever had.
Oh, Hi Dad soup.
Oh, sad moment.
That is sad moments. But I just don't think that this Cowboy Bebop is gonna. You just can't.
You can't.
There are some things that are sacred.
I like how there was hope for this, and then they're like, well, look at it, we're so excited, and everyone's like, no. What have you done?
I mean, the only casting they could do correctly is Ein,
Well,
because it's a corgi.
yeah, but how do you make Ein? Because he's supposed to be like
The smartest,
a super intelligence.
super dog.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Everyone's
I
gonna
mean,
be like, oh, they just took that from Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon's supposed to be a smart animal.
well, and Cowboy Bebop's only what 23 episodes. I think is the whole.
It's not-
It's very
it's
small.
not a long
it's
series.
It's a short series,
It's
and they've
a
already.
short series with a lot of music.
Oh my gosh!
And are they still gonna have Yoko Kanno
Yes.
music? Because if
Yeah,
they don't, oh, okay.
they've got Yoko Kanno to come do the score, which that is the saving grace, because I'd love to hear new music from Yoko Kanno, because I had every
I don't
one of
want
those
new
albums.
music. I want
Tank?
bebop music. No, not
Piano
necessarily
Black?
Tank. Tank's wore out. There's a song that's 5 different saxophones, and it's just saxophones going, and it's the coolest song you've ever heard in your life, because it has a soprano, an alto, a tenor, a baritone, and a bass sax, and
dude.
it's the coolest song.
Yoko Kanno is the best. I had every single one of those albums.
Hey, thanks, JB Bustin.
Hey, JB Bustin, just subscribe. Thanks for the sub, dude. Bustin makes me feel good.
Bustin does make me
Bustin
feel
makes
good.
me feel good.
We do.
Speaking of ghosts, just a little announcement for those of you that live in the
We ain't
Northwest.
afraid of 'em.
We ain't afraid of no ghosts. But if you're in the Northwest Arkansas area where we broadcast live from, Nightmare on Block Street is underway. It's going to be coming up October 1st. Planning is already going on. We're going to be, it's going to be at Pinpoint, 23 North Block. Mark your calendars, October 1st through 31st. So spooky season is upon us. Spirit Halloween stores have already started. Expect some fun stuff here on the Drive-in Speakerbox. The set's going to get spooky. It's going to be spooky season up in here. We're going to be talking about what kind of movies to watch during the spooky season. It's always a fun time on the show. So mark your calendars and, follow your alert notifications if you've subbed over on Twitch, which gives us money, which is super tight. And also, if you have Prime Gaming, which if you have Amazon Prime, you automatically have a Prime Gaming, and you get 1 free sub a month, and give it to us. That'd be rad,
It would be super
would be
rad.
super rad.
Really appreciate it. And check all your gaming downloads. Get your freebies like I do with Sea of Thieves, which right now is the Conquer sales with the beer mugs clanking.
Conquer Bad Fur Days Conquer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about what's coming out in theaters this weekend, because it's about that time of the show. We're 30 minutes in. We need to talk about new movies, because new movies come out every single week, and this week is no different now that theaters are back open, even though COVID is on the rise and school has started back and schools are starting to close left and right. University of Arkansas campuses. Yo, shout out to the University of Arkansas, because we went viral again for COVID.
Yo,
Like-
you think that no space between all of the sorority rush girls that they blocked the streets for because they were such a shoved in mass of people breathing on each other from Texas
God.
who refused to have any kind of vaccinations or face guards?
It
You're
was-
telling me that they got sick?
This picture floating around the internet,
No.
like everywhere, for the University of Arkansas bid day.
Oh,
and
that
everybody's like,
viral, internet viral. I
Internet
thought you
vi-
meant
no,
like
no,
the real
both.
viral.
And the caption that is really blowing it up is looks like everyone pledged Delta. And
They had the street shut off this weekend, and
my
I was
gosh.
trapped. I couldn't leave my home.
it was unbelievable. And we'll see what happens with theaters over the next couple of weeks. But we do have some movies coming out this weekend. One of them, a lot of people have been waiting for a really, really long time, myself included. I know Slick Doggy here is probably not going to go see it.
Because I hate remakes.
Even though, no, it's not a remake. It's a continuation. Yes.
Then where's my boy?
He's in it. Yes.
Oh,
Easter eggs revealed.
I might I might watch it.
I've been hearing early reviews of Candyman saying that it's fantastic.
I've met Tony Todd in real life, and he's one of the nicest and coolest people
Tony
I've
Todd,
ever met.
Legendary actor. Again, a guy that never really got the spotlight he truly deserved, but he has so much respect from everybody in the business because Tony Todd is the freaking coolest.
He's legitimately, in real person, very nice, super cool guy, tall as fuck.
So what this movie is, the more that's coming out of it, they're calling it a spiritual sequel. It's takes place in, like the original stuff probably happened, but this is taken in modern day, and this guy's going to kind of investigate what's going on. But it's based off, the Candyman, the 1992 Tony Todd classic that, returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. And of course, like, gentrification is a real problem in a lot of places, here included. And they're visiting this legend that happened back when the neighborhood was back in, like the 90s, when it was kind of still ghetto-ish. And dude, Neo DaCosta directing, it's from the producers, Jordan Peele is one of the producers here. And dude, I cannot freaking wait to see this.
If I know that they're still kind of giving props and honoring the original,
so
that's not, I might.
I've been doing some research, and I'm pretty sure that Tony Todd is the voice of Candyman in this movie. Yeah.
Like it's a different actor, but he does the voice.
He's in the IMDb. They're trying to keep it a big secret, but he's credited in them, but he doesn't have, he's credited, and I watched the trailer, and dude, it's Tony Todd. Okay. Like, if you know Tony Todd, you're like, yeah, it's Tony Todd. I mean, why would you bring him back? And so Bottle Rocket 5000 says he is. And shout out, that's Tyler. Shout out to Tyler, who I was working with this weekend on his horror short. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Tony Todd, dude.
I can't contain it.
Tony Todd,
I'm
dude.
actually super stoked.
Tony Todd, dude.
Velvet Santa points out that The Visitor with Tony Todd from Deep Space Nine is one of the best Star Trek episodes of all time. Tony
Todd's a fantastic Klingon.
Every time Tony Todd showed up in Star Trek, you knew it was going to be a good episode, whether he was Kern or Old Man Jake. Super rad. Always killed it.
I forgot he was Old Man Jake.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, with Cisco trapped in time, and Old Man Jake saves him by killing himself or whatever it was.
That one's dark, man.
But they have the best father-son relationship, and Tony Todd makes that work, and it's super rad. Yeah. Cool.
So,
cool dude. That's exciting.
We want you to look in the mirror and say Candyman multiple times.
Yeah,
and,
I think you've said it too many times while looking into this, and that projects, and that's going to be a mirror. And if we get hooked to death when we try to walk out, or if I get covered in bees, I'm going to scream like Nicolas Cage, "Not the bees! Not the bees!" from another remake.
Candyman.
Don't do it. No.
Candyman.
Not involved in this.
Candyman.
No.
Candyman. All right, I'll stop.
The weirdest. The lights
Someone gonna
flicker.
clip that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking at Vince. He's our mod over on Twitch. He'll do it. But Tim over on Twitch is like, you're screwed. We are totally. It's the Velvet Santa. He says that's the OnlyFans cam.
Hey, well, now that you don't have to have
Show
your
titties
bits out in the open, maybe we can start one up.
We'll start an only.
Done.
We'll start an OnlyFans now that we don't have to show dick neck.
Because it's done for artists and people, so they could get closer with only their fans. And
boobs are art too.
They're going to lose so much money.
Well, and it brings up a really interesting, on a serious note about OnlyFans, because it's media related and it's content creation, and it's sex work is real work. Like, I think a lot of people, turn their nose up at it, poo-poo at it, but every significant advancement in technology has been thanks to sex work.
Damn you choosing Blu-ray over HD DVD.
I know. VHS over Betamax.
They lied. They went with
internet.
HD DVD to begin with, and they flip-flopped. Sony knew how to make their stuff work. They came in and they threw money at porno, and they're like, maybe change your mind, huh?
Yep, and they did.
HD DVD was so much better.
It was better, but didn't have porn on its side.
It did it first.
It did it first, but they had the sneaky deals. But anyway, so the point being is, I was like, it's really not fair to the people that this company was built on. It's like OnlyFans as a company is only thanks to everyone's hoo-hoos, ha-ha, and bing-bongs.
Very mature show, the Drive-in Speakerbox.
But if it
We're
wasn't,
adults.
if it wasn't for those hoo-hoo, ha-has, and bing-bongs, then OnlyFans would not be everyday household jargon. I mean, even conservative households know what OnlyFans is because probably one of them has got an account, and probably one of their children has a channel. It's like that's how it's penetrated the lives of everyone in the United States, to use a not so delicate term. But it's. Yeah, what about the people? What about the people that are making this content? I mean, they're kind of jumping ship and going.
There's been people that did it for extra money, and they were getting some success, and people
money.
found it, and they got fired from their real jobs, and that was their fallback because they were making enough money, and now they're going to have to go find.
Well, it's really not fair, and I think OnlyFans is going to fall to the wayside of things like Movie Pass, where it's like they tapped gold and then they backed away. And the reality of it is, everybody's like, why? And it's because they're having trouble getting investors. They're having trouble getting loans because companies like Visa, companies, like big banks, they won't loan money or do transactions to pornographic websites or content. Pornhub lost a lot of business because I can't remember which payment processor refused to work with them for different reasons, because there was, allegations of content that was not being screened out that was, not appropriate. And I mean, when you're that big, it's probably hard to police all that stuff. And with something like OnlyFans, I mean, I don't want to get into the politics of all that, but it is an interesting thing that I think is going to really change the way user generated media moves forward, because it was a huge platform. But so was Patreon's a thing, and like Twitch is now becoming a thing where you can pay to have your content. And it's an evolving landscape that's changing really, really fast, and I'm very curious. I know it's fun to laugh about people's bing bongs, but this is a huge economic force.
I'll never laugh at anyone's bing bong. That's rude.
Yeah, you should always laugh at a bing bong. A good swinging bing bong. See, you're laughing now. You can't not laugh when someone talks about someone's bing bong. Or Tallywhacker. That's a good one.
Hold on. I can't get my foreign film emporium off the ground.
Jake's,
I can't get a loan.
Jake's Foreign Film Emporium.
No, hear me out.
There's no payment process.
It's called Jake's Foreign Films.
Emporium.fart. Anyway. It should be. www.clownpenis.fart.
pp-poo-poo.pizza.
That still exists. It's doo-doo-pp.pizza, and it redirects to the Drive-in Speakerbox YouTube channel. It needs to go to the Twitch, but I'll fix that redirect. I tried to get milklemonade.fudge, but it's just milklemonade.ninja. And actually, you know what? Poo-poo-pee-pee.pizza, since I've bought that URL, it has gone up in price significantly, and I don't know if that's because it's such an amazing URL, but now to renew it's like $80 a year now.
Oh, snap.
But it's so good. I'm like, geez, maybe I'm onto something, and I can turn around and sell it for a few $1,000s down the future and make my money back. I don't know, but poo-poo-pee-pee.pizza is mine. There it is. Vince throwing it out there, or maybe it's doo-doo pee-pee.
I think it's doo-doo pee-pee.
Doo-doo pee-pee. I think it's whatever. What are we talking about? There's more movies coming out in theaters this week.
There is other movies besides Tony Todd nostalgia and bing bongs.
So you can't not laugh. So from director Ted Feldbaum, there's a new movie called The Colony coming out. It's set in the distant future. A female astronaut shipwrecked on a long decimated Earth must decide the fate of the wasteland's remaining populace. This trailer looks every bit of a ripoff of that book turned TV show, The 100 / Children of Men / There's one other movie that it makes me think of. But, you know, it's one of those kind of like Wastelander, like Earth has become unpopulated. People were living in space, now revisiting space. Oh, guess what? There were people here the whole time.
That movie with Will Smith kind of thing. Where Earth's abandoned?
Yeah.
Oh,
Earth's
but you're saying,
abandoned.
but people were there.
But people were there, and then they're like, well, how do we repopulate the Earth? And like the people there the whole time were able to like have kids, but the people that were in space the whole time have technology, and we're like, well, screw them because we're the smart ones, so let's eradicate those, you know, Neanderthals, and we can't live and we can't coexist.
Just like the 100, huh?
Yeah. Which was actually pretty good.
What's that super badass movie with Tom Cruise?
Day After Tomorrow.
Oblivion.
Yeah. All those Tom Cruise movies.
But Tim said what we were all thinking. These words are making me uncomfortable.
Vince over on Twitch said, I got a serious warning from my antivirus about going to doodoopp.pizza. He went there anyway, and it was our YouTube.
Hey, thanks for throwing caution to
the wind.
Doo-doo PP wind.
Yeah, there you go. I like how even the internet's like, man, I don't know about doodoopp.pizza, but hey, go at your own risk, man.
Yeah.
And it's us. Also coming out this weekend, an interesting film, kind of an indie film from directors Stephen Daldry and Justin Martin. These guys have done some interesting stuff in the past. Billy Elliot, Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close, other movies like this, British comedies, dark comedies, and it's called Together. It's got James McAvoy and Sharon Horgan, and it's basically a movie about a husband and a wife that are kind of estranged, already on the rocks, but hey, guess what? It's COVID-19. They have a kid, and they're basically having to quarantine together through the lockdown.
Oh, snap. A movie hitting theaters that's focusing on
COVID-19.
Happening already. How about that?
It's kind of a romantic comedy, but not like... I would say a dark romantic comedy because it's about two people that really don't like each other, but then, you know, having to be in the same house with each other. They have a kid that they both like, but maybe finding elements about each other that they still actually do like. You know, maybe like War of the Roses without the super dark downer ending, which, you know, if you've never seen War of the Roses, like, wow, what a good, terrible, like 80s dark romantic comedy. Have you seen that movie? Oh God, War of the Roses, like
You don't like musicals? I don't watch a lot of rom-coms, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
No. War of the Roses is not.
You said it was a rom-com, doggy.
Okay, so War of the Roses, like, oh man, we have to bring this one up because this is one of those movies that nobody ever mentions. It's like it's Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner, man.
Oh, okay, I'm in.
And Danny DeVito.
You can't break up the team. So you got to keep that jewel of the
Nile, Romancing the Stone. Velvet Santa says the chandelier scene was sick. Oh, dude, it was like the end of the movie. It's like the best ending ever. And, you know, War of the Roses is one of these movies that I think has kind of gotten lost in because it's not on streaming anywhere, I think, right now. So that's like where people are like rediscovering these old movies. Go, dude, have you ever seen this? I was like, yes, I tried to tell you to watch it for 15 years and you wouldn't borrow my DVD. And they're like, well, I got Borden's on Netflix. It's amazing, dude. And you're like, yes. But War of the Roses is like such a good dark comedy about romance. I mean, it's got Sean Astin in it. It's got Dan Castellaneta. It's got all these pretty cool people, and it's dark. It's dark, and the very ending, oh man, it's good. But anyway, Together, making me think a little bit of War of the Roses.
Legit War of the Roses makes me think of Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones makes me think of swordplay, and swordplay makes me think of something we forgot about in the news.
What?
Did you see that trailer for all the anime Star Wars things that's going to hit Disney Plus soon?
No.
It's from like 9 different anime studios. They have all this like Star Wars anime stuff coming in, done by different animators and studios, and a couple of them look like they might be kind of neat.
I didn't see this.
You're the big time weeb. You're the weeb.
No,
on the
you're
show,
the
doggy.
one. You're the one saying that you hate all Star Wars things.
I do. I hate Star Wars and I hate anime, but it's something to talk about on the podcast.
All right. Well, Knock Solid they're curious.
Yeah, it looks like Star Wars Animatrix kind of, except like maybe better than Animatrix, because Animatrix was like, you know, that thing that has like a pretty solid timeline that should probably be established and would be a lot better if it made sense. What if it didn't? And what if Matrix was just Terminator? And you're like, oh, well, Matrix would be cooler if it was Terminator. And they're like, well, too bad. That Animatrix? Yeah. High hopes.
High hopes.
Low delivery.
High hopes. Yeah, I mean, what is it on Disney Plus?
It's going to be a Disney Plus thing. Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
it on Disney Plus. I can't, like, all these streaming things. I'm, like, late to the party because I'm not going to pay for that crap. Like Titans season 3 or whatever.
Oh man, I started watching it and it's so good. I need to watch more.
Well,
of it.
the former producer, I mean, the producer is now graduated up to producer. Yeah, we'll give him he's over here. Well, what's up? He's over there in the studio.
Robert Plant.
And with his hair. But yeah, you know, the old producer, he was not a fan. He's like, I'm not feeling this.
Of season 3?
Season 3. He's a little skeptical.
Well,
dude.
I'll only watch the first 2 episodes, so we'll see how much further I get in. They introduce Barbara Gordon. You get some Oracle up in there.
Okay.
But they do establish that several characters that you'd probably like to see at some point. They're like, oh, those dudes are dead off screen. Who cares?
Yeah.
So there's things like that.
Well, I'm going to probably start watching it this week because I have to watch it through other methods. My subscription is a little different. It's delayed. But anyway, Bottle Rocket asks over on Twitch, he goes, did we already talk about Annette, which is the Amazon original with Adam Driver? I have not seen it yet.
Calls Old Deucer.
Old Deucer. Yeah, that's a pretty good name. I haven't checked it out yet. I'll probably watch it this week, and we will report back to you on that one, Bottle Rocket. But thanks for reminding us of that one.
I hate watching a lot of movies with Adam Driver because you're like,
what? Because you want more.
No, because Adam Driver is always like a really good actor, and he acts his ass off, and everyone else around him is pulling their weight, and you're like, well, this would be a pretty good thing if someone else was putting in some Adam Driver effort. Like,
I mean, just watch Logan Lucky.
Well, Logan Lucky's really good.
That movie's so good.
Or
classic Soderbergh.
The Don Quixote, the man who killed Don Quixote.
Oh my gosh!
But
that movie.
When you watch something like Star Wars or anything like that, and you see Adam Driver, you're like, well, that guy's really good. Why does the rest of this suck so much? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm always iffy going to Adam Driver movies. I'm like, I know he's going to probably do a good job, but the rest of the movie might not be so good. But Logan Lucky is a fun movie.
His choice. It's a good classic Southern heist.
What's his name? Daniel Craig is really good in that movie. We reviewed it. There's an episode out there somewhere.
It is good. All right.
Vince calls that the Michael Shannon effect.
A couple. Michael Shannon effect. Michael Shannon's a cool dude.
He's a pretty good actor.
So, all right, we need to talk about the new movie. We need to talk about the movie we're going to review tonight.
Velvet Santa said, I'm Matt. I'm a radar technician.
Oh, Tim says he can't wait for The Last Duel. Yeah, I cannot wait for The Last Duel as well. I mean, we got Affleck and Damon again together on screen, but we'll talk about that one a little bit later. But we need to review Reminiscence.
Let's talk about it. Let's
get into Reminiscence.
I'll hit you with my Star Trek review real quick. It was sick. I liked seeing it in the movie theater. You should do it.
Oh, Star Trek 3, the
4.
the talk to whales.
Yeah, Star Trek 4 Voyage Home. The first 4 movies are being released on 4K, so you can watch the motion-less picture, and then you can watch the 3 good ones, skip 5, and then wait for Undiscovered Country to come out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about a movie.
All right. Reminiscence. Okay. We're going to talk about Reminiscence. We both saw it. I saw it in the theaters. He saw it in HBO Max. Mm-hmm. It's directed and written by Lisa Joy, who is her directorial debut. She got kind of put on the map because she did such a good job writing Westworld with her team of writers there.
Oh, that explains the recast of Westworld actors throughout the movie.
Yep. And starring Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson, pretty much leading the show with a super strong supporting role by Thandawi Newton, who I think kind of stole a lot of every scene she was in. I thought she was taken off of it. You also had some cool cameos from Cliff Curtis, who you don't see all the time. Usually when you do see him, he's a bad guy, which is no different than this one. But for the most part, you had a weird little cameo from Brett Cullen, who I haven't seen in a really long time. You just don't see old Brett Cullen, and usually he's always a bad guy, but he was just in there for a hot minute. But the rest of this movie is, just kind of falls to the wayside about the story between Nick Bannister, private eye, except for he's not a private eye, and this client who walked in and everything changed. And it's just classic neo-noir.
Very classic. I mean,
just
it's like
super neo-noir.
It just took like that.
Not even neo-noir, just like noir.
Yeah, noir, except they're like, but what if it was in the future of a thing that we're not going to explain?
In the
like a
future
future
past.
that seemed kind of cool. And you're like, I want to know more about this. And they're like, you don't get to.
So, and so, okay, I mean, my quick one-sentence review on this is the sum of its parts are greater than its sum. Or wait, the parts are greater than its sum. I don't know how that phrase works.
So,
the parts, this movie...
It's a predictable paint-by-numbers movie.
But this movie had so many bones that could have made Hey, elderly child is following. Thanks. It should have been so much more than it was. Like it was a very ambitious movie because noir is a hard genre. It's a tough sell because it's generally a slow burn. And at a 2-hour runtime, slow burns don't work for modern audiences. I think I read the Roger Ebert review and he was like, it just dragged on. It's like, yeah, do you not remember what noirs are, Roger? Are you that old? Where your just brain doesn't work?
It didn't seem like it dragged though.
There
It was
was
all
some parts that dragged.
it was paced like a noir movie. And
Yes, it was paced like a noir movie.
I guess to me that's not dragging,
But
because
here's my problem. It goes back to audio, like we were talking about earlier in the show. I think this movie, whoever did the film score, they got the wrong person to do the score for this movie, because the score for this movie sounds like Max Payne or what's the other guy that we love, the Tom Cruise,
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. It was like this kind of like nouveau action western, like bow down boom ba doo joo boom boom joo ba doo ba doo joo. But it's like a noir, so
that was Crocodile Dundee.
I mean, okay, maybe. Boom joo ba doo ba doo joo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but what it should have been is like Lethal Weapon, like that's what this movie should. It should have leaned into this noir. Like every scene, it's like, I mean, it stole everything from like Maltese Falcon to Casablanca, where it's like, and then she came into my life, and then, of course she was like a lounge singer.
Well, yeah, they had a very mixed aesthetic type thing. Everyone dressed, all the interiors were like 40s noir or whatever, but then all the exteriors were
like post-apocalyptic
near future,
Miami.
well, just near future. Yeah, Miami.
Well, and another problem I had with this movie, it was all like, and the city comes to life at night because the escape the heat of the day.
And then the rest of the movie, they spend it in daytime.
The daytime. I'm like, well, I want this nighttime gritty Venice, Miami.
They set it up at the beginning of the movie. They're like, oh, it's too damn hot during the day in the friggin' flood world. So everyone just comes out at night. No one does anything at daytime, and the rest of the movie is nothing
daytime.
But daytime.
It's like, what, and I feel like this movie,
and everyone's wearing like coats and hoods, and you're like, bro, it's daytime. He said it's hot. Why are you in a hoodie?
It's post-apocalyptic, like ice cap melting, Miami's flooded, and you're sitting here in a hoodie with the hood up. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Definitely not suspicious, guy.
And so I guess that was the thing. One of my Drive-in Speakerbox mottos. And, say it with me if you've heard it before. Play by the rules of the world that you create.
You can't say it's too damn hot outside for people to go outside during the day, and then the full entirety of the movie never have another single nighttime scene.
And you can't have a noir in the Blanc. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, hey, learn some friggin' French, dude.
It's some French up in your life. Like,
but it did make for like 2 or 3 like pretty like visually striking scenes.
There was some really cool scenes in this
movie. But then
the
rest of it was all very close interior, and you're like, oh, you set up something that's so cool.
The idea of this movie, I mean, it was like, I want to go back and watch Strange Days, because Strange Days did this movie better than this movie did this movie. But if Strange Days was more of a noir, like a 1940s, like retro-futuristic noir, like, or also Altered Carbon. I really liked the first season season of Altered Carbon. If they had used the world from Altered Carbon and did this story, it would have been chef's kiss. It would have been so good. But they didn't, and that's what made me so mad at this movie. And speaking of hot, this studio is hot. You'll notice I'm sweating profusely because I'm also wearing a flannel.
I'm fine.
It's my costume. It's like wardrobe, dude. It's like a part of the thing. It's the brand. Drive-in Speakerbox, dude. I'm just sweating my balls off. Sweaty balls. We covered it at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, see?
Okay. You're just cooking up some sweaty balls.
I'm just cooking up. But, this movie, like, that's what was so disappointing to me in this movie is that, it should have been so cool. You could have had this Blade Runner-y, like, fun mystery vibe.
It could have been similar to Blade Runner 2049 if they would have done it a little better, I guess. I don't have a better word for it. They gave these characters some cool backgrounds that they didn't give you enough of. They touched on it enough.
The war?
What
was the war?
Yeah, they're like, they talk about the war all the time. You served? You were in the war? Yeah, I did this. And they kept calling it like the border war or the coastal war and all this stuff. And you're like, well, this would be kind of cool if I get to know about it. And like, you never get to know.
You never get to know.
You're not allowed
squat.
to know. And you're like, but the entire background and the characters hinge on what this was and what it means. And they're like, you don't get to know. The world they set up too at some point shifted and they're like, well, now it's In Time, the Justin Timberlake movie. All of a sudden it changed at the end of the movie. You're like,
I remember
what?
that.
And they're like, 5 minutes of the movie, it's In Time now. And because the rich are separated by the police patrolled wall, that no one can enter it.
Yeah, there was the dry zone and the wet zone.
Yeah, and it's like, where was this? That would have been a cool plot point a little earlier in the movie.
The world was so much cooler than the execution, and it disappointed me because I didn't hate this movie.
No, it's not a bad movie. It has its entertainment value. All of the actors do a really good job.
I think this movie's gonna just tank at the box office, though.
There could have been cool characters if they would have had a little bit more character.
Just a skosh.
Instead of Hugh Jackman being horny guy.
Yeah. It's like, I gotta find this girl that I was really into at all costs. And I don't know. It's a fun noir. I would say see it in a theater just so you can give theaters money. But honestly, like, this is one of those movies that's going to be just as good on HBO Max, which is kind of. But as Velvet Santa just said over on Twitch, at least it's not a sequel or a reboot.
But here's the thing: just like in this movie, I felt like I was looking at one of my memories because everything about it is familiar and sort of unoriginal.
A little bit. Because it's every noir trope and every post-apocalyptic trope.
I feel like I've seen it 100 times just from the Star Trek episodes I've seen.
I just want to go watch Strange Days again.
Yeah,
Strange Days is fantastic,
it's even has familiar.
Was it Angelica Houston? Is let me hang on. I think it's let me use the old computer here. Strange Days. No, Angela Bassett. Yeah, Angela Bassett plays the exact same character as Watts in this movie. And oh my God, Catherine Bigelow did Strange Days. Well, no wonder it's so good. She should have never won that Oscar for The Hurt Locker. She should have won it for Strange Days and Point Break. That's what we're talking about.
Well, you know how Oscars work.
I do know how Oscars work. But anyway, yeah, it's a movie to see. Hugh Jackman does a good performance. They both do. It's a decent film.
It's not bad. I'm not going to say it's bad or recommend against it. It's worth a watch. It's just not anything that's going to really stand out. We're
going to have to go to a remembrance place to remember this movie after about like a week, I think. And it's just a forgettable movie about memories, which is kind of funny. But anyway, let's hit that box office roundup because we're almost out of time, and we need to move on.
Vince pointed out they're changing the HBO Max.
They're doing an ad version. They're doing a Hulu plan.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Man, oh God, Remembrance. Oof.
Reminiscence.
Remember all. I'm thinking about like the Harry Potter, the Remember All or whatever, or they put the, I don't know. There's a Remember All in something. What is the Remember?
Well, in Harry Potter they do the thing where they go.
Yeah, they go and they pull the sperm goo out of your head, and you throw it in the dish, and you look at it, and it like gives birth to a thought.
How does your brain work?
I don't know, dude. With goo.
Here, let me find out.
I don't know. So, man, Reminiscence opened up at number 9. Oof. Golly. It was in 3,265 theaters this weekend.
Underneath a movie that I've never heard of.
Well, The Night House I wanted to go see. I didn't get a chance.
I wanted to see The Protege. I'll probably watch The Protege for next week.
I was really busy this weekend, and maybe that's why they're in the bottom 3. We didn't get to go see it. So Reminiscence brought in $1.9 million at the box office from Warner Brothers. Oof. Big time oofs, considering it was also in more theaters than the number 2 movie in the country, but we'll get to that in a minute. Number 8 was Night House, opening up at number 8 from Fox Searchlight, bringing in $2.8 million in its opening weekend. Number 7, The Protege, opening up at 7. This was not a good weekend. I think everybody's scared of COVID. Nobody's going out into the theater.
School starting back.
School starting back.
Yeah.
You know, even though it didn't stop Paw Patrol, but we'll get there. $2.9 million for Lionsgate on The Protege. Number 6, Suicide Squad. Number 5, Respect. That's in its second weekend release. It brought in
one I need to find. They did start showing it at our local theater.
They did. It is expanded release this week. Number 2, a second weekend release. It's brought in $15.1 million. Number 4, Don't Breathe 2. Number 3, Jungle Cruise, hanging in there with an additional $6 million. But the number 2 movie was Paw Patrol, bringing in $13 million at the box office, opening up at a fairly strong. But then Free Guy.
Oh, forget that. Paw Patrol stars Kim Kardashian West doing a voice as a puppy dog? What? No wonder it brought in $13 million.
I can't believe that Free Guy stuck around. I mean, God, the power of Ryan Reynolds.
Whoa, what do you think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's phone call was this week?
You want to do another Wolverine?
Yeah, because them being best friends and giving each other such a hard time.
I can only imagine. But yeah, Free Guy bringing in another $18.7 million. That's a lot for COVID numbers. Total domestic gross, $58.8 million. You can check out our review of it on last week's show. You can download the podcast or check it out on our archives over on YouTube. Because I think Twitch still has last week's episode. It only keeps like the last week or whatever. And then
really? It doesn't hold on to 30 days?
It only holds on to like 14. So like every 2 weeks. And so we only do this every 7 days, so it's only like one show that it keeps, which sucks. Come on, Twitch, I'm looking at you. We got subs. We got some subs. Listen to us. Anyway, Free Guy made some money, dude. It was pretty impressive. So Tim says Spider-Man No Way Home trailer just dropped 15 minutes ago. Oh,
it's 15 minutes ago. You'll just have to wait 7 days for us to talk about it.
I mean, I wish that we could do the thing where we could show it in a screen and not get flagged for copyrighted content.
Good luck with Sony. Sony's the ones that have the biggest hard-on for shutting down anyone's anything for sharing their stuff.
I know. It's so dumb. Because I have the technology. I could hit a button. I've got like 5 cameras in here. I got cameras here. I got cameras here.
Hey, Velvet Santa, the only Doms we talk about on this show is Dom Toretto. Because it's about family.
Well, we'll be talking about it.
I'm scared to think of what that clip is.
Oh yeah, Vince over here with the clips on Twitch. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We are out of time. And yo, if you get those subs, you can unlock those emotes. You can. Knox Solid says React content is the Twitch meta. Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, I guess we can.
Ooh, let's just set up a time later this week, and we'll title it that we react.
Well, I'm just. Well, okay. But I mean, that's
or we
like.
can film it right after this and then post it later.
That's like.
They're only going to see our reaction.
I mean, I don't, can we turn on the? I don't know how to turn.
No, this is a bad idea. We're going to get flagged.
No, we're not going to. It's just going to be us watching it. It muted, I guess. I don't know. I already hate it. Like, look at this. We're watching it here. Where's my producer camera? I'm going to pull it over here. Like, check it out. We're over here. I've got my screen. We're watching it. Look at all these screens we have.
This is not how you do
this. Okay, I hate this. Oh yeah. He's handcuffed because he's a bad guy, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got a Capitol building, and then Zendaya, they're FaceTiming.
How are you going to handcuff Spider-Man?
And his friends are there. They're holding hands this summer. Helicopters on the bridge. Why are they there? We'll never know. School is weird. Everyone's on social media. It's a sleepover with my friend in jail.
Let's do a React video, just not right now because this is a bad way of doing this.
I don't know. It's a great way of doing it because we can't do a React video next week. I know it's
not
hot
next week.
Here.
We can film it after the show or something.
We're gonna do it right now.
Yeah, we can do it in a minute and then post it later.
All right, guys. Well, we're out of time. This guy's got to get to work, and I got to turn the air conditioner on because it's 100 degrees in the studio. So I sweat more than you. I'm just a sweaty boy. I'm always sweating. But subscribe, like, do the things. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You can find us out there where you get your social media podcast things on the Tuned In, the Spotifys, the Google Music, the Apple Plays, all the things. Thanks for the subs, everybody that subbed. Thanks, Counterexample, for tuning in. Tim, Tim, this is the first time I think I've seen Tim on Twitch. So thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week talking about more movies and more shenanigans. I am Bo, the Boom Operator.
I am Jake, the Grip Slick Doggy.
Slick Doggy, and we will see you guys next week. Later, y'all.